Liberation Days is the story of when the Canadian soldiers came to liberate the Dutch.
The play is set in 1945 in the eastern part of the Netherlands, and it's set during a time period that we don't always think about in terms of history, which is the 6 months after the Second World War.
As a small town in the Netherlands tries to put the pieces back together, and we watch as the Canadian soldiers and the Dutch people try to find a way forward together.
Identify the need. Match the need to the resource, organize the connection. We are helpful, we are efficient, we are friendly. Here.
It's pretty appropriate, I would say, that Liberation Days is being premiered first at Theatre Calgary because the initial inspiration came from Theatre Calgary. About 7 years ago, there was a call out for proposals for plays that would fit Theatre Calgary's scale and the scope of a large-scale house like Theatre Calgary. And I remember going for a walk around my neighborhood and thinking, well, what's the story that I have to tell that would fit that kind of scale? And as that walk went on, it actually all started coming together. That it was going to be kind of a complicated love story between a Dutch woman and a Canadian soldier, and one that was not, pure in the sense that we think because it's been compromised by something else, liberation, the title came on that walk too, Liberation Days. So that was the starting point of it.
The play is an exciting symphony of languages.
And to see if you needed anything, if everything was all right.
Hij wil weten of wij iets nodig hebben. Hoe het gaat.
Of wij iets nodig hebben?
Some of the actors speak in Dutch. Some of the actors speak in English with a Dutch accent. Some of the actors speak in English when they're really meant to be speaking in Dutch. So there's a lot of different conceits around how language works.
I think the most exciting thing about it is that as an audience member, you at times end up in the same place as the characters are.
Samen met een varkens. En mijn kind verhaat weinig honger.
The character is listening to somebody else say something they don't understand. They may pick out a couple of key words that, sort of float across the language barrier, but they're not quite sure what's going on at a certain point. And I think there are times when that's kind of an enjoyable place to be in as an audience member.
Alrighty then.
None of the actors are Dutch speaking, so all of the actors have learned Dutch through this process. So we've been working with a Dutch cultural and language consultant who's helped them learn Dutch phonetically. And we've also worked with a voice and dialect coach who's helped them find the Dutch accent. So it's been an enormous challenge for the cast, and it's pretty amazing to think that they're going to be on stage performing in a language that they've only just started to learn.
You speak English?
A little. I studied a little.
Oh, wonderful.
You're going to understand the play, Dutch or not. The actors carry through, you see the emotional quality behind what they're saying, you get the gist of it, you understand.
A lot of the work that I've done previously is work where I've traveled to places like Sarajevo or South Africa to take a group of Canadian artists to work with a group of Bosnian artists or South African artists to find a way to connect through art and to find a way that we could create a story that can only be created by putting those two cultures together. And for me, that's what this play is all about, is the idea of the Canadians and the Dutch, and how for these people that didn't know each other before, how they get sort of crammed together and find a way together to move forward into the future.
En jij weet weten of wij iets nodig hebben?
Yes, we're all right.
I've been really surprised actually at how personal the journey has been as we've dove into it. I think that we're talking about history, but I realize how much of myself is invested in that as well, and just in terms of my own journey of culture and spirituality.
I love working on new plays, and this one we've had David, the playwright, in the room with us the entire time, which is great because you've got the source there. When you have a question about the material, the guy who created it is right there. But it also means that the script is constantly evolving. So as we've been going through, David's been trimming and adding to the script. So based on what he sees in the moments with the actors, actors. So, you know, we'll work on a scene and he'll realize, oh, we don't need to say that line because because it's already being emoted or performed by the actors. So it's sort of a constant evolution that way, which we all sort of have a hand in helping it become the finished product.
The liberation of Holland is like a good hero story for Canada, and the way in which we tell that story, it's not a naive story, but I feel like you'll learn something new about Canada, something that you hadn't really known before, because it's a bit of an outsider's view of Canada. And it's surprising in that when you look at Canada through somebody else's eyes, Canada's like a really sexy place to be from, and I think that's something that we're not used to hearing about ourselves.